It is 2015. The New York Mets are still dead in a chokehold of what is now the infamous Wilpon family. They have ruled and ruled over the Mets for 30 long years, but fast forward 5 years because this is when Steve Cohen changed all of Major League Baseball forever, and this is the story of how he did it. As the lifelong Mets fan that Steve Cohen was, he had always wanted to do something and own something with the New York Mets, and he had always wanted them to succeed, and it just killed him to have the Wilpons as the owners of the Mets. So, even though he started out as a share owner, on September 17th, 2020, Steve Cohen bought the New York Mets for $2.4 billion. Cohen won the purchase of the Mets 24-6 with all MLB owners voting in, and it in turn made it the biggest purchase of a MLB team or any pro sports team in history, and immediately Steve Cohen was in the record books. The next move that the Mets would make under Steve Cohen would end up being the biggest bombshell up to date. They traded for Francisco Lindor, the shortstop of the Cleveland Indians, and Carlos Carrasco, a starting pitcher, for two very sort of prospect guys that have worked out well for them in Andres Gimenez and Ahmed Rosario. And this really showed everybody that the Mets were willing to do what it took, because after this, right after this trade, the Mets re-signed Francisco Lindor for a 10-year, $341 million deal, and this showed that Steve Cohen was willing to go to any length, and it really changed how baseball owners think today. Steve Cohen would end the offseason by signing Kevin Pillar and Aaron Loup on one-year deals, and then it was on to the 2021 season.
To Harrison. Tapped on the ground, Alonso to his left, flip to DeGrom, and the ball game is over. Jacob DeGrom retires the last 19 batters, a 2-hit shutout, 15 strikeouts, no walks, an unforgettable performance for the master of his craft. 2-2. Mazika hits one slowly up the line. The shovel home, not in time, and the Mets win it! Patrick Mazika plays hero in the bottom of the 10th. 2-2. And Mazika grounds one down to first. Coming home is Mancini, the slide. Save for the Mets, win it! Mazika does it again! He drives home another winning run! The Mets rally for two in the bottom of the ninth, and they beat the Orioles 3-2. And he swings away, throws it up the middle, base hit! Here comes Lindor around third, and the Mets win it! And he lines one to center field. Herrera makes the catch. Here comes McKinney. Here comes the throw by Herrera. Save for the Mets, win it! And McNeil lines one, base hit! Lindor is in. Here comes Smith. Here comes Bradley's throw to the plate on a hop. Not in time, and the Mets win it! And he smacks one to deep left center field. Back in the gap goes Gamble near the wall. It's out of here!
Breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ with the trade deadline now less than an hour away in baseball. Another blockbuster involving the Chicago Cubs. Our Jim Bowden reporting that the Cubs are sending two-time All-Star and former NLCS MVP Javi Baez to the New York Mets. The Cubs also sending pitcher Trevor Williams in the deal. The news comes just moments after they traded closer Craig Kimbrell across town to the White Sox, and a day after shipping first baseman Anthony Rizzo to the New York Yankees. So here are the trade details. The Mets receiving the second baseman, Javi Baez, and pitcher Trevor Williams. Pete Crow Armstrong, the outfielder, going the other way.
Unfortunately, this trade for Javi Baez and Trevor Williams would draw the end of good for the Mets in the 2021 season. And unfortunately, they completely fell on their face and collapsed. And it kills me to say that as a Mets fan, but that's what they did. Injuries killed them. The thumbs down or thumbs up thing from Javi Baez and Francisco Lindor killed them, and they just didn't have the best coaching and staff and everything like that. So, as much as I want to say that Steve Cohen's first year as a owner of a team of the Mets was successful, it was not.
The Mets eliminated from the playoffs Saturday night after they had a lead, earlier in the season. Why did it all fall apart for New York?
It's a great question, Chris, and it's a multifaceted answer. We found out really they just weren't good enough. You saw it, seeing it down the stretch here. It's getting kind of embarrassing that they can't. They're going out this way, losing just about every night here.
Guys, I'm sorry, but notice in this video just says it all about how bad the Mets were in the 2021 season and how disappointing they were, because this is literally Terry Collins ragging on them and saying that it's disappointing and embarrassing that they're losing pretty much every night.
But it really starts for me with the offense. They didn't hit all year. Guys, so many guys underproduced. Seeing Lindor here, he was the number one guy that was supposed to lead this team to a different level offensively. He was bad. And then the pitching held them up the first half. Then they lost to DeGrom, and I thought they lost a lot of their identity because DeGrom was such a big guy for them. They knew they could count on him every fifth day. He went down, and then they found out they didn't have enough starting pitching depth, and the starting pitching started to fall apart down the stretch. And you throw in the bullpen, that kind of crashed late too. So all facets of this team kind of fell apart.
Guys, to put it simply, Steve Cohen's first year as the Mets owner did not go as planned, and even though he did make a 5-year plan for the Mets to win the World Series, and I'm still hoping that works out because we're about to go into year 3 in 2023, it really was not working out after the 2021 season. But then Steven Matz happened, and Steve Cohen absolutely went crazy.
Steven Matz ended up signing with the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, apparently, his agents were in talks with the New York Mets, and Steve Cohen is not happy about it. I've never seen such unprofessional behavior exhibited by a player's agent. I guess words and promises don't matter. So, apparently, they kind of had a negotiation with Matz going on, and he is not happy because they never got the chance to counter offer.
Guys, Steve Cohen must have been pretty mad about this because that night he didn't sign one, he didn't sign two. He signed 3 free agents, like 3 big-time position player free agents in Mark Canha, Eduardo Escobar, and Starling Marte. And this really was the turning point of the 2021 season to the 2022 season. But the biggest offseason acquisition for the Mets would not come till the end of December or beginning of January in 2022.
It's a great day for the New York Mets. It's even a better day for our fans. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Max Scherzer.
There we go. Steve said it's whatever it takes to win here. He looks at this as he wants to win a championship, and he's going to do whatever it takes to win. That's music to my ears. I'm still here to win. That's why I'm a Met.
He brings a relentlessness and an obsession to win into our clubhouse and adds impact to a rotation with a lot of talent.
This free agent signing of Max Scherzer is really where Steve Cohen changed MLB for the better or for the worse. I'm not entirely sure, for forever probably, because with this signing, he completely flipped luxury tax and thresholds on its head. Because if you give Max Scherzer $43.5 million, you have to give DeGrom 45 to 50, right? But I think he has completely changed the outlook of money in Major League Baseball.
Steve Cohen has completely changed the salary structure in baseball. Completely. Right now, they are projected to have a payroll of $320 million, well over the Cohen tax.
Oh yeah, guys, by the way, they named a tax threshold after Steve Cohen because he is that rich.
Which means every dollar over $300 million that you spend, you have to spend 60 cents in tax. Mm-hmm. And then also there's draft ramifications and foreign signing ramifications. So this guy, the Major League Baseball owners let him in, and now they are paying the price, because the price for a pitcher was never 43.5, ever. And the highest price that you ever got for a position player was 36 for Trout.
Not anymore.
Who's considered one of the best players of all time. Right.
Guys, after the Mets had a successful 2022 season, going 101-61, I think it is safe to say now that Steve Cohen really has changed the threshold and tax and money, everything of Major League Baseball, for the better or for the worse. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll leave that up to you in the comments, and I will read those, so make sure they look good. But I just think Steve Cohen really has pushed a lot of other MLB owners into the corner, and I'm not saying this for bad. I'm saying this for good of Major League Baseball because really, I mean, $43 million for a pitcher is just insane, and the fact that he is willing to do that and go out and be a fan of a team with all that money and just spend for that team like nobody cares, like the Guardians don't, the Rays don't. This guy really does what he does, and he has changed Major League Baseball for the better. Guys, please hit the like button and subscribe on this video because this will be the end. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I spent a lot of time on it, so just help me out. This will end the video. This is Mets Main Street you're watching right now. I cover everything Mets and everything baseball pretty much, unless it's the small signing, small trades. I don't cover that. But I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.